Welcome back everyone to my weekly series where I introduce you to new games to play on Roblox. If you enjoy discovering new games, please support the series by hitting that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, sharing does help a ton, so if you can share it with some friends, definitely do so. That would help a lot. So this week we found some really cool games for you to check out and some that you recommended to me in the comments from my last video, so keep those coming. Without further ado, let's get rolling with our first game, and it's my favorite out of this list, and that is ABYSSAL. ABYSSAL is a co-op obby like no other that I've played. It's refreshing, and it's a unique take on the typical parkour climbing obbies. I mean, we've all seen like the Alta Torture, the, Carry Me, the steep steps, all that kind of stuff, but this one has just a completely unique take on it. It's not a copycat, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of how it works. First, the game is playable solo up to a point, so even though it's a cooperative obby, you can pretty much experience the game mostly solo. So it's not like Alta Torture where you have to be like tied up to someone, or like Carry Me where you have to like be with someone to be able to get to, places. You can play the solo for the most part, all the way up to a point, meaning you don't need another player to help you until you really want to be able to progress to different floors by acquiring echo tokens. These echo tokens do require like higher jumps, so the only reason why you need another player with this game is you need to recharge your double jump, and that is represented by this little glowing back item. So you can see like there's a back item here, it glows, and whenever you're near someone else it recharges. So you only get one double jump, and after that you're out of energy for the double jump, so you need to go and replenish that energy by going next to someone else. And again, this is only for collecting echoes. So echoes are tokens, and to be able to get to the next section, you have to have a certain number of echo tokens. You can also collect energy orbs, which are your in-game currency. It's like cash. The energy orbs are essentially used to be able to buy new cosmetics in the game. So you can get like, new wings, you can get new masks, and you can get new colors. So you just look different from other players in the zone. They're really cool too. They're all like neon kind of glowing, and you don't really need them. It's just optional kind of stuff. The only thing you do need the orbs for, that you're going to want to keep them for, is this unique ability, which is the rewind ability. So the rewind ability, say you accidentally fall and you're like, oh no, I just fell, and you don't want to have to like climb all the way back up. We've all done it in other games where you fall and you're like, no, and you get ragey. Well, instead, you can just hit E and hold down E. I don't know what it is on mobile, but I'm sure there's a button on screen for mobile players. But you just hold down E and it will rewind the action, and that makes it really, really cool because it's so much more enjoyable. It's so much more fun to play because like if you mess up on a jump, you don't stress out. You have a chance to like you get redos, and you get as many redos as you want technically, as long as you have those energy orbs in your balance. So how this works is you see this little circle on the top right. When you hold down E, it just basically like subtracts from that and consumes it, and once you consume all of it, then it just uses one of your orbs and it recharges. So as long as you got orbs, you can do this rewind as much as you want. I had like 2,000 orbs by the end of this, and I never ran out. I really look forward to seeing more updates to this game because I kid you not, I played it nonstop for over an hour because I had that much fun. I actually beat it in my first sitting. I want more. There's also like a really cool challenge mode that you can do solo where you can't use the rewind or double jumps, and I'm about to jump into that after this video. You can check out the game and the links in the description. Next up is Paragon Zombies, a game recommended by It's Bendy Demon, and I'm glad they did since this game's a lot of fun. For me, it's a lot like mixing the classic Zombie Rush Roblox game with Call of Duty Zombies and Overwatch, where the round starts and you need to clear waves of zombies. We've played these games before, they're not like anything new, but this game has kind of a unique blend of things, and it's nicely done. So each wave obviously gets more difficult, and you can spend the money you earn from killing zombies, and you can get new weapons, you can get new perks, like you can like supercharge your weapon, you can unlock new weapons, all that kind of stuff. Your typical Call of Duty Zombies kind of upgrades. Another unique aspect of this game is the various champions you can use, which all have their unique set of abilities. The game has a variety of modes. The first one being a cooperative PvE mode, your typical Call of Duty Zombies, where you work together with other players to survive continuous waves of zombies, right? And another mode is a team-based PvP one, where you have to defend your own crystal at your base while also attacking the enemy's crystal to try to take it out. There's also a PvP like free-for-all mode, which I did not experience, but overall this game is really cool. It's a much more casual approach to the typical like Call of Duty Zombies style games, and it makes it much more enjoyable and easier to play than others. Definitely check this one out if you're into this style of games. The next game we have on our list is Goofy Gods, a game recommended by Appleman64. Goofy Gods is a lot like your typical, giant killer versus survivor games. You know, we've played these. They've been around on Roblox for years. And the difference is that this one, you have a variety of abilities that you can equip instead of like choosing a god or something. You can actually mix up a variety of like abilities, and the survivors can also equip power-ups and guns. So it's a much more polished version of the typical games in this category. You can open packs to get new abilities when you're in the god mode and unlock, you know, better weapons when you're the survivor. The starter gun, I did about 6 damage, for example, and as I bought higher level guns, I was doing about 40 plus damage per hit. It's a fun game to check out. A notable mention for this kind of game, though, is Book of Monsters. By the way, if you haven't played that one yet, it is more of a unique spin than this one. That one's a lot of fun. Definitely check out Book of Monsters or Goofy Gods. I mean, check both of them out if you like this kind of game. Next up is the Office Experiment, and before you say DV, you already did this game in the last episode. Let me stop you right there. It's not the same game, okay? So I had this one confused too. I saw a lot of people were commenting in, you know, the comments of my last video here saying, you should play Office Experiment, and I was getting really frustrated with them. I'm like, dude, it's literally in this video that you're watching right now. Why aren't you watching my video? And come to find out, there's a small difference, okay? There's the Office Experience, which was in my last video, and then there's the Office Experiment, which is in this video. So they're different. Needless to say, they're different. And thanks to all of you who recommended this game. It's a pretty cool game. So some years ago, I think around like 2015, 2016, a movie came out called The Belko Experiment, where some office workers were locked into their offices and held hostage. So it was pretty much the entire building was in lockdown. In the movie, they were told to do various actions, including eliminating their fellow coworkers, which was a twisted and very dark social experiment. In this game, inspired by that same movie, players are instructed to follow the directions to increase their chances of survival. When the game starts, players can loot various drawers for weapons until given instructions. Later on, surveys are given out to all the players on deciding who should be eliminated next. Sadly, in recording this video, I got eliminated. I got voted. I accidentally voted for myself. I forgot I was on my alt and I voted for myself on accident. It was just a big L moment, okay? But it's a fun game, little challenging. I gotta say it's a little harder than God's Will and Squid Games. But if you're into this style game, you like the kind of like difficult style games like this where you get eliminated or you can decide who gets eliminated, definitely check out the Office Experiment. Next up is a game that gives me Undertale and retro game vibes with this visual style, and that's a game called Reflection, which was recommended by Aiden Games 1037. In this game, you start out in a dark mansion, navigating for various clues and keys to access different rooms in the house. The game is intended to be a scary game, and I did experience a few jump scares. Nothing like shocking, but just enough for me not to expect it. It was just kind of loud and boom, it's in your face and then it goes away, kind of jump scares. The main thing in this game is, you know, you're navigating a very dark house and you're trying to complete various puzzles to open hidden passages, and you're trying to, you know, solve the mysteries or clues. The nice thing though is they do have a little pay to win button at the top that I really liked, which is called Hint. And if you know, click on Hint, it tells you literally what you need to do, which is kind of nice. It does seem like the story here is that you're asleep and you need to wake up from your nightmare. So I'm not going to spoil anything beyond that. But if you want to give this game a try, you can check it out in the link in the description. Finally, a game that has to be one of the most challenging games I've faced on Roblox in a while, and that is the Condition 1 demo. Recommended by TWD Walter. This game is super polished and one I hope to see more of. You start out in your cabin and it looks like it kind of takes place in like Antarctica, so there's obviously snow. It looks very cold. It looks like sub-zero kind of temps, you know. It looks very, very cold. And you're instructed by a colleague over your radio to clear some obstruction at the satellite dishes. And so you head over there, you gotta, you know, take care of that, and then you need to go and fix an electrical panel. The cool thing about this game is the style of the puzzles. So it's like kind of a horror or scary puzzle game. I never got to the scary stuff, I gotta say, because it's kind of hard. This game is pretty hard, like I said. So I don't think I've ever had to listen to and decode Morse code in a Roblox game ever, or any kind of game ever. And this game requires you to do just that and more. It doesn't stop there, okay? It's really unique. I have to say, like, it's really unique. After you complete the Morse code challenge, which, you know, sounds like the majority of players couldn't beat. I'll get to that in a minute. But you have to calibrate after that the satellite dishes by solving some pretty challenging math problems. Let's just say I almost quit the, you know, the game a few times, and I eventually got bugged out, so I couldn't complete it. I gotta say, though, this is a really, really solid game. If you're curious, I did solve the Morse code. There's 3 Morse code challenges. It's actually fun. Like, I'm glad. It's a good feeling to complete it. I hope most people try to just, like, figure it out, because if you can understand the Morse code, maybe get some help from other friends, it's pretty fulfilling to solve it. You know, definitely check this out if you're a little bit more on the higher end of the IQ. If you feel like you're a smart person that you can solve this, definitely try it out. I loved it. I want to go and play it again because it's that cool. I really want to see. I want to get to the scary stuff. Anyway, let me know what you think of these games. Also, if you have any new games, and I'm saying new games because I keep getting a lot of recommendations for older games, definitely send them my way in the comments. I am reading all the comments. I'm looking for your game recommendations. Obviously, you're getting shout outs here, so make sure it's kind of new. Maybe it's not overly popular yet, but it's starting to pop. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next vid. I'm going to go back to playing ABYSSAL here. Peace.